Are you ready to kickstart your week with some dirt-slinging and tire-slaying Action Motorsports radio that packs the biggest guests?
Hi, Ken Block here.
Hey, my name's Jolene Van Butte.
What's up, Brian Deegan here.
Vaughn Ginn Jr. here.
They've been thrown into one show that has broken down the barriers of what a motorsports radio show should be. This is the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor, with support from General Tire, KMC Wheels, Dirtfish, Gibson Exhaust, and MTX Audio, with your host, who also happens to spend his weekends flying 800 horsepower trucks through the dirt, Jim Beaver.
When was the last time you saw an off-road or rally driver begging to get behind the wheel of a NASCAR IndyCar? Yep, not happening, but you sure see these pavement racers begging to drive our cars.
And his partner in crime every week, a self-proclaimed Canadian moto chick who was jumping triples and taking podiums before most guys even learned to ride, Amy Hood.
No one knows how to say my last name. Like, is it really that hard? Amy Hood, like I'm from the hood. Don't get it twisted.
Sit back, strap in, and be prepared to join us as we take you through a motorsports ride like no other. Here is the man who carries a steering wheel in one hand and a mic in the other, Jim Beaver.
Good morning and welcome to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Coming out swinging today. Man, do we have a ton to talk about. I personally decided to only have a couple of guests today because we have so much to talk about. First off, our guest, Fredric Aasbo, won the World Championship in Formula Drift a couple years ago. Also won the U.S. Championship in Formula Drift. He is on the line talking about Long Beach this weekend. We got Stephan Papadakis, who is a legend in motorsports. He's on the show. I mean, this is the guy that basically Vin Diesel's character in Fast and the Furious was modeled after. And we've got him on the show. So we got my partner in crime, Amy Hood. She's back from Monster Jam. She's here. What's happening, Hood?
Hey, not too much, guys. It's just trying to decompress after the craziest Monster Jam World Final, I think, ever in history. Yeah. And social media doesn't lie. So we'll talk about that a little later. Yeah,
we got a lot to talk about on that front. We've also got some World Rallycross kicking off. BJ Baldwin's dropping Recoil today. It just dropped about 2 minutes ago. I haven't watched it, so I'm going to watch it in one of these breaks. We're going to talk about that later on the show. Ken Block dropping a new livery. I don't know. We got stuff hitting the fan today. Lots to talk about. We'll be back here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor, after this.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When RJ Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning Razor XP1000. RJ is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris Razors to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris Razors RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris Razor vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. A 268-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. It's not a sibling rivalry. It's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. As certain as the sun rises and sets around the world, OTSFF Group is dedicated to providing flexible, comprehensive, and reliable transportation solutions. Air transportation, ocean freight, ground transportation, or a combination of services. We offer innovative and custom-built packages specifically designed to meet your transportation needs. OTSFF Group has been keeping shipments moving globally for nearly 2 decades. OTSFF Group, flexible logistics services designed for you. More information at OTSFF.com. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I would like to welcome OTSFF Group to the Down and Dirty Radio Show as one of our new partners. Basically, just like you heard in the commercial spot, moving freight globally. Whether you need something trucked across country, through the air, through the ocean, OTSF has you dialed in. So definitely, if you need to move something, whether it be a car or an entire house or entire corporation, definitely they will get you dialed in. So thanks to OTSFF. They also have some involvement in off-road, in arena cross. I know they're killing it in arena cross. Chris Blows, one of their team riders, is just destroying the field in arena cross. So I think, I don't know, we might get some arena cross riders on air, Hood. I don't know. How's that sound? We haven't talked much arena cross this year.
I mean, there's so much else going on right now.
Right?
There's so much. But yeah, it's pretty cool to have Andy on. You know, as we've talked before, Andy and I go way back into my Canadian motocross racing days. Always a cool dude, stand-up guy, and it was always funny because I'd, be at a race in Daytona Beach or at A1 in California, and I'd always run into him everywhere I went.
Yeah.
So it's a small world for sure.
Yeah, definitely fun to have him on board. He's got an off-road truck, so he's starting to play out in the desert a bit. Yeah. What he told me, he actually used our shop back in October. But what he had told me was, he's like, he's got a snowcross team, he's got this arena cross team. Like I think he was involved in. Feist, his Terracross program. I know, like Jolene, when she won one of her women's championships, that was on an OTSFF bike. But anyways, like, everybody gets to have all this fun. He's like, I want to have the fun. So he bought an off-road truck, and I don't know. That was probably the worst financial decision of his life. He'll learn that, 6 months down the road. But
don't say that aloud.
I'm telling you, off-road, I've said it before, you want to be a millionaire, you start with 2, because it goes, it's like just a money pit, anything in off-road. So probably like monster trucks. Good thing you're not paying the bills for yours. But how was the weekend for you?
It was surreal, Jim. For starters, I flew my mom and dad out. I surprised them. Flew them to Vegas because, they say that Monster Jam World Finals is like the Super Bowl of motorsports, and it really was. Just how the whole event was put on, from all the activity in the pits and, all the engagement for the fans. We have 5-hour-long pit parties for 3 days straight, so the fans really do get a full experience to meet everybody, see everything, and it was just absolutely incredible. And we do this parade where we sit on the top of our trucks and we drive through the pits and down the road, and all the fans line up on the fence, and it's so surreal. And it was really cool, and my parents thought it was a really surreal experience for them too, to see their little girl's name up on the Jumbotron and racing down Thunder Alley is just something I've always watched, coming to so many Supercrosses here, and I was always a fan in the stands. And now just having the roles reversed was just a very humbling and surreal experience. Like, it just, now that I sit back and think about it, I can't wait till next year.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really seem like real. It just really seems like all the hard work over all the years has finally paid off to get that moment. But there's lots. It was very different. I mean, now I'm taking these trucks with the gearing different and longer and faster. Because we're going from an arena to a stadium, and not just any stadium, but Vegas and Thunder Alley, and like the biggest stadium there is. So it was a really different racing experience. So we're in the Double Down Showdown. There was 18 of us, and we were kind of considered, I guess, like the lights, the lights in the 450s.
Yeah.
So we only raced. So we raced on Thursday, and whoever won racing got to participate in the big show and do freestyle. But I will totally take not being in freestyle, because I got to watch freestyle, and oh my goodness. So we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
But
yeah, we got a lot to talk about there. We'll hold off on that.
Yeah, it was crazy. But racing was, we only got X amount of passes to try it all out. So I only really got to do left lane once and right lane 3 times, because something got all messed up where I didn't really get another left lane pass, which was fine. I ended up doing my races in right lane anyways. But the speeds in which, we take the chicane. Okay, well, first I'm going to tell you guys a funny story. And, this has just comes from inexperience in anything other than 2 wheels, okay? So in drivers' meeting, they kept talking about, keep an eye out for the tree, watch the tree. That's going to be, your main, point of interest is getting off the gate is that tree. Look at the tree, look at the tree. So here I am thinking this whole time that there's, this big old pine tree growing, and it's like our turning point. That's what we're going to use, as the tires at this, down the center of the straightaway that you use to turn. I didn't know that it was the Christmas tree light, whatever that light up, like in drag racing.
Oh,
and I
Hood.
obviously thought we're looking for a pine tree. Like, I had no idea. People, you gotta
You're like, where's this damn tree at? What are they talking about?
Really, that's how I was. And then I'm like, oh, it's lights. Okay. Drag racing. But I have never watched any drag racing in my life, so I couldn't really give you, I don't know the terminology that well.
Yeah, that's
but,
too funny.
we got that crazy chicane, and then we're coming down the straightaway in a 12,000-pound truck going, 80 miles an hour. And then we come and do a, hairpin corner. It's just so
Backing
crazy
it in.
surreal. And then we, launch it. And that's my favorite part was, launching that truck in the air. But, once I got down to my last couple passes, I actually think I qualified 7th, which I'm very happy with, because I wasn't really happy with my runs. But, I know next year now I can go back to the drawing board and take everything that I learned this weekend and hopefully come out top next year. It's a big learning curve. It was very, very different. We're doing speeds that we haven't done all year, and it's just about getting comfortable and learning from everybody else. So I'm very happy. I'm so happy I made the show, and I'm happy I made it. But, being able to sit and watch freestyle and watch 3 of Monster Jam first was just, epic.
Yeah. Well, I just want to go back, though. We're talking about that, you know what I mean? And I think it's with anything. They call people rookies for a reason, whether it's a baseball player or you know what I mean? It's, you need a year. I was the same way in Terracross. I needed a year and a half to figure that out. Even though I'm a proficient driver, I needed that time to figure it out, and it's with you, obviously you can drive and you can ride a dirt bike, but you need a year to figure out the odds and ends. I just did an amazing interview with Colette Davis that airs later this week on Project Action. We talked for an hour and a half, but she was saying it took her a year in a rallycross car to figure it out, so I don't think that's
Colette Davis was at Monster Jam, actually. We,
yeah.
Had the opportunity to meet, but I know she wants to get behind the wheel of a Monster Jam truck. So everybody does.
Yeah,
who doesn't want to drive a monster truck?
Yeah, well, and that Wonder Woman truck, holy crap, that's a good-looking monster truck.
Yeah, definitely. That's a conversation for another day.
Yeah. No, that thing was thing's on point. But, I just think, you know what I mean, going back to that, and I know we're running short on time, so the next segment we'll talk about freestyle and all these firsts and everything because we got a lot to talk about there. But I just think, I'm stoked for you. I'm proud of you. You went in, you know what I mean, you won some events this year, and, you've got it figured out for next year. I mean, round 2, reboot, Hood's coming out swinging. So,
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of cool because my uncles were listening online to Facebook Live, and, they said I was one of the most promising rookies, this year that came out of Monster Jam University this year, and that's a really honoring title or, place to hold. And, I mean, we have a stacked class of rookies. I mean, Camden Murphy, won Rookie of the Year, very, very well-deserved. Like, the kid was on fire, really was able to adapt to the truck by the end of the tour, doing amazing tricks and stunts. And, it's just, we got a really stacked field, but now I figured out what I need to do to put the truck where I want it, and that's on the top of the board every weekend. And, I got 3 more rounds left now after World Finals here, and I think I'm going to feel like a whole new driver in that truck, and I'm really excited for it.
Awesome.
But we have to talk about freestyle because, like I said, there was some Monster Jam and world firsts that came out of this weekend. One, Neil Elliott absolutely stealing the show Friday.
I got to hold you up, the Hood. I got to hold you up. We got to go to a break, and as soon as we come out of break, we're talking about this. I promise. I want to talk about it too. I really do, but we got to go to a break real quick. So we're hitting a break. We'll be back. We're talking world first with Amy Hood, Monster Jam, all that and more on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty Radio Show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it, so when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. Looking to have some fun on 4 wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount. Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268-horsepower, turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
As certain as the sun rises and sets around the world, OTSFF Group is dedicated to providing flexible, comprehensive, and reliable transportation solutions. Air transportation, ocean freight, ground transportation, or a combination of services. We offer innovative and custom-built packages specifically designed to meet your transportation needs. OTSFF Group has been keeping shipments moving globally for nearly 2 decades. OTSFF Group, flexible logistics services designed for you. More information at OTSFF.com. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver, Amy Hood here, talking a little Monster Jam. Before we get into all these first, got to give a plug to Project Action, dropping Thursdays on Podcast One, my spinoff podcast. And we've recently, did a marketing podcast with Jerry Zayden, Jolene Van Vliet. We had some actors, some actresses. This next week, I've got an epic interview with my good friend Colette Davis dropping, talking about entrepreneurship, rallycross, racing, her new TV show called Girl Starter she's hosting. That drops on TLC later this month, so going to be a good one. And we just hit top 5 sports podcasts in the entire country with Project Action. So we're one of the top 5 ranked shows in the entire country on iTunes this last week. It only lasted a day, but thanks to all you guys for making that happen. That's pushing some massive traffic. So please continue to rate, review, subscribe on iTunes. Keep us up there at the top of the charts. And if you leave your Twitter, Instagram at username, I will follow you back once I see it in the review there on iTunes. So good stuff happening on Project Action. Better stuff happening. Monster Jam. All right, Hood, let's get into these world firsts. It was an epic
Okay, but first
weekend.
I got to give a shout-out. I had an awesome dude come up in my autograph line who is a serious fan of the Down and Dirty Radio Show. Listens to us every week.
Really?
So I had to give a shout-out to Levi. I know you're at home listening because I told you that I'd give you a shout-out, but thank you for coming to World Finals. Thank you for tuning in every weekend, and it was really awesome meeting you.
Yeah,
Super
that's
cool
awesome.
Dude.
I love hearing stuff like
yeah,
that.
it's so cool. And anywhere I go, and I meet Down and Dirty fans. Like, I love it.
It's getting kind of crazy, to be honest with you. Like I never would have figured. Like, I go anywhere, it's like, dude, I listen to your show. It's like, it's awesome. Like, you and Amy kill it. It's like I'm seriously starting to get massive amounts of feedback when I go places, which is kind of fun because this literally started out.
I get massive amounts of feedback as to why I don't ride dirt bikes anymore, and it's really pissing me off. Seriously, in my autograph line, it was wild. Like, when are you gonna ride dirt bikes? Okay, I'm still going to, but I'm doing something else right now. Like, it's totally fine. Don't worry, people. Okay, Monster Jam first. Got to lay it down because there's 3 of them. It was absolutely crazy. First was, and like I said, this was at the on Friday night. There was an Encore Friday and Encore Thursday. There was the Max D Encore, and on Friday night. Sorry, there's just so much going on. It's crazy. And Neil Elliott. Insane. The guy is absolutely an incredible, talented driver, but he must have no fear at all because he made history and stomped the first ever forward momentum backflip. And so Son of Digger just won racing, and Son of Digger went and stopped on the top of the pad. And we were all wondering, because I know the Encore was coming out, why he wasn't moving. Like, okay, the pad was about 18 feet high, and then add a monster truck on there. And then there's this ramp leading into it. You guys got to check social media. You have to check it out because Neil Elliott came pinning it down there and then did a forward momentum backflip, not just over the pad, but over Son of a Digger monster truck also, and landed it, and it was incredible. And the pyro was wild, and it was absolutely wild. And then in freestyle, he took it home and did a reverse backflip off the container element there. There's like this container in the back that people do regular backflips off of, but he did a reverse backflip in reverse. Like, it didn't make any sense. It was crazy, and he landed it and then went and jumped again. Like, it was crazy. And that's the cool thing about World Finals is all these things happen that you just don't expect, and not a lot of people also plan for. It's not a new trick, but a lot of people were landing the corkscrew, and it just looks so insane for a truck to be doing that. But obviously what stole the show and now has absolutely stolen social media and blown social media in, like, on a whole new level I have not seen. Like, this is on World Star's Instagram page that has like 90 million followers.
I was just on ESPN this morning. I was on ESPN doing some research for the show, and the front page of ESPN is what you're talking about. Crazy.
Yeah. But the coolest thing is that it's not just in anything motorsports related. Aussie Man, who does the crazy Aussie Man reviews, who does the commentating, he's huge. I wouldn't be surprised if Kevin Hart posted about it, but it's getting so, it's entrepreneur Instagrams, like stuff that has nothing to do with motorsports, which is really, really, really good for Monster Jam, right? To get monster trucks out of just the motorsports eyes, but thrown into like all these other really cool commercialized, accounts that have millions of views and followings. It's just so good for the sport. And that is Leah Donald smashed out this. He did a slap wheelie, sent it in this big old jump, and then got the truck up in a slap wheelie, and then, he just committed it and pinned it, and then he landed a front flip after, being in a wheelie, goes to the next jump, hits it with the rear tires, and sends the truck in a front flip, lands it perfectly, and then just goes and, drives off. He goes and tries to do a backflip, crashes, whatever. No one cares. He landed this outrageous front flip.
Well, and that was like he had. That's not even something you can practice. You know what I mean? And I haven't seen it.
You just go for it.
Yeah, it was one of those things where, because you can't always for sure land in a slap wheelie like he did. It's like it's just got to be a combination of things. And he literally, watching that, like, it was full commitment, and he landed it perfect, but it was just a huck. He hit, and it was like he said a prayer. He didn't know if he's going to land on his roof or what. He looked like a hero.
Oh, half the time I'm pretty sure monster trucks are sitting in the cab just saying, "Jesus, take the wheel." Like, you don't even know what's going to happen, but that just, shows the level of skill that he is, that he knew what the truck was going to do, by hitting. And that's the thing. You can't, like you said, you can't prep for it. You can't prepare for it. But he knew to, keep that momentum up in that wheelie. And if you were just to commit and hit the rear tires, that's what the truck was going to do. Well, hopefully, praying to baby Jesus that hopefully that was going to happen. But it just takes a lot of skill level. And he landed it so clean. Like, it was such a perfect landing. It was insane. He didn't get a bounce. And when he landed, he just committed it on to the next one. It was wild to see, and it's such a level of talent, and very rightfully deserved to win Monster Jam World Final Freestyle.
Yeah.
Leah Donald, congratulations. You just blew up the internet.
Yeah, he literally
better than
did.
Kim Kardashian when she, had her photo shoot with the champagne bottle. Like, Lee killed it. Like, Lee broke the internet.
Well,
yesterday.
You want to know what's
the day before.
What's funny, because I ended up right after it happened, I posted to my Instagram a clip of the front flip, right? And I went crazy with comments and views, right? People are blowing mine up. Well, I start getting people regramming my video, right? And they're regramming my video, and I had Pastrana, somehow he saw mine, and it's he regrams at Jim Beaver 15, and then people started regramming Pastrana's, and I had this stupid post on Instagram go viral, and it was thanks to Lee. I just grabbed 1,000 followers, but it was it was crazy. People
I would have posted then.
Yeah, it was so nuts. People, like you said, I've never seen a post, and it wasn't just me. There was multiple outlets. I've never seen anything like that. It was crazy. But, yeah, he earned his paycheck.
It was absolutely wild. And you guys have to go and watch the Aussie Man review. He does the most hilarious ones about motocross versus, football, too. It's so great. But he's like, meanwhile in America, I can't obviously repeat Aussie Man stuff, but
no.
It's so funny. It's worth a laugh, but it was really cool. I had so much fun. Is it next year already? Because I have so much more now I can take back to the drawing board from what I learned from all these amazingly talented and experienced drivers. But I really have to give a shout out to my girl Rosalie Raymer. She drives Wildflower.
Mm-hmm.
Give her a follow. It's _monster truck girl. We got to get her on the show next week. Jim, she's the youngest Monster Jam driver, and she actually competes in stadium shows, and she absolutely destroyed it in freestyle. I was so proud of her. She's such a, soft-spoken, sweet girl. Her and her dad drive together. He drives Time Flies, and I was so proud of her. She's such the next up-and-coming female driver for Monster Jam. Absolutely. She has so much talent, and I would love to have her on the show. She would be just a great role model, and it'd be really cool to talk to her.
Yeah, we'll have to make that happen. I'm super familiar with her. She's like crazy. You see the pictures she posts to her Instagram and stuff. I'm like, that girl.
That's her doing the corkscrew.
Yeah, she's got a little.
And, like, she's just also like, you put the face to the name and you talk to people for the first time after following her on social media. It's like, the girl does not do justice on how sweet she is. Like, I love her. She's fantastic. And she's a crazy driver. She's rad. I'm very stoked to have met her.
Yeah, that's she's a badass, that's for sure. So so you, I know we only got like 60 seconds left, but you've got a few rounds left. What, are you off this week, or do you have to go this weekend and do another show, or do you have like a 1 week breather?
No, I got 2 weeks off.
Oh, wow.
It's so awesome. I'm going back I know. I'm hanging out in Vegas here for 2 more days. I don't know why. I've been here for I feel like a month. But and then I'm heading back to California. I'm going to get a passport, and then I'm off for 3 more rounds, and I'm excited because, again, like I said, I got a whole new fuel in the tank, recharged, and ready to rock.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thanks a lot, Amy. I know you're in Vegas having some fun. We will definitely have you back full-time, I think, starting next week, and we're looking forward to it.
All right, guys. See you later.
Thanks, Amy.
Have fun, and bye.
All right, bye. All right, that was Amy Hood chatting some Monster Jam. We'll be back after this with Stephan Papadakis here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning Razor XP1000. R.J. is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris Razors to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris Razors RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris Razor vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Sound, the sound of sports, the sound of the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports. Beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems, KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'd like to welcome my next guest, legend in the automotive scene, Stephan Papadakis. How's everything going, my friend?
Going well, man. good job pronouncing the name right. That's a rarity.
Is it? Well, see, Jen Horsey trains me, so I got it. She helps me with my media training, so there you go, right?
Cool.
So, no, welcome to the show. I know, we got a lot to talk about today. Obviously, you've got roots yourself as a racer. You've kind of moved into, car builder and kind of team manager type of thing. But I know right now, big news is you've got a brand new car with Fredric Aasbo. You guys are just announcing brand new Toyota. How is this new car, first of all?
Yeah, so we've been running with the Formula Drift series for a while with Fredric now for 6 or 7 years. And our last car was a Scion TC. Interesting car, right front-wheel drive, converted to rear-wheel drive, 1,000 horsepower, turbocharged nitrous 4-cylinder. And now with Toyota, we've just built a Toyota Corolla IM. So it's the first of its kind drifting, really, of any sort of race car on this chassis. It's a 5-door, like hatchback, 4 doors and a liftback. And similar to the last car in the way that we've used the turbocharged nitrous 1,000 horsepower 4-cylinder engine, converted it to rear-wheel drive, and we do all the custom suspension and everything, so it's 100% drift spec, so we can compete at the highest levels, but with this, super unique build.
Yeah, how is it? It's one thing I love about Formula Drift, and there's a lot of comparisons to Trophy Truck, and that I think that it's like literally the last two series or divisions that are pretty much wide open. You can run pretty much any combination of whatever you want. As long as they're within the safety regulations, you're pretty much free to go and run it, And how is it with you guys? I mean, you guys are one of the few, the lone soldiers out there running this crazy 4-cylinder engine. But obviously with Fredric's track record, man, it's working for you guys. You're running against the big V8s and things like that. I mean, how is that? I mean, what do you guys have to do to this engine to get it to compete with, these big Ford and Chevrolet power plants?
Yeah, so the rule book is tiny for drift, and there's really only a couple of sentences for engine, and basically engine is open, transmission is open. So we can literally do whatever we want. And the reason for that, let me back up a little bit, is drifting is so much of a sport of driver ability. So we need to build the drivers these tools, these drift cars, so they can go out there and tandem, go against each other really close and drift around these courses. But at the end of the day, it's not a straight line drag race. It's not how much grip you have going around the track. It's really how well these drivers can control their drift car and their tool, competing in these tandem rounds. So they're not super interested. The series is not super interested in having a really tight rule book. They do regulate quite a bit on the tires. So we have to use a street-based DOT tire. We can't use an R compound, something that would be like a road race tire, but we use more like autocross, like high performance summer radials.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what the evening of the playing field is, having that similar tire grip. And they let us go however far we want on the engine. And around 1,000 horsepower is, for the high speed tracks, is about where you need to be at the top level. 600 is not enough with the amount of grip that we have in these cars now, and 1,200 or more, and you're just going to wear out your tires and not have necessarily a more competitive car.
Yeah, well, and that's it's kind of cool, going back to kind of what you said a few minutes ago. It's a lot of it's about driver and skill and ability, and and I know you come from import drag racing scene, and there, you'd find 5 or 10 horsepower, and it was massive, right? And and now here you are, and it's not so much about finding that extra horsepower; it's what Fredric's going to be able to do with it, And I think that's kind of an interesting take on the drift as a whole,
Yeah, and that's one thing I like. But it's interesting with the drift. It's on one end, I want to be more involved in what we do with the shop. Directly impacts how well the performance is each weekend, right? So okay, well, let's find another 10 or 15 horsepower, and then we can equate that into a faster lap or a faster quarter mile, and we know that there'll be a tangible, better result at the next event. Drifting is not necessarily like that. we got to make the car comfortable for Fredric and make sure he's in the right frame of mind, and make sure he's on his game, because there's so much improvising that happens. So it's interesting as a fan, if you can get around that, I think you can really enjoy drifting a lot more, knowing that these drivers are really competing at a driver versus driver level, not just how much power each one of the cars make.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes drifting different than anything out there in motorsports, and I know I've talked about it with Fredric and Vaughn and some of the other guys, but being a judged motorsport, it's tougher for people to grasp, but I think people are really latching onto it. And you look at viewership numbers for Formula Drift, whether it be their live stream or television audience or just at, the track fan attendance. And I mean, it's massive. It really is massive. It's like this worldwide juggernaut,
Yeah, and I would ask maybe some of your listeners that are hesitant towards drift, is to maybe step back a little bit and say, okay, what are they doing with these cars? What is the horsepower that they're doing? Are they, these things are sitting at 8,000 RPM, making 1,000 horsepower around this whole bank, and then they've got to do that run after run, round after round, day after day. These are really endurance engines that make 1,000 or more horsepower. And that's pretty rare in motorsport nowadays with all these regulations. And then in addition to that, look at what these drivers are doing, how consistent they can stay sideways near these walls and on the preferred line that the judges request of the drivers, and then the distance that these drivers are able to catch and stay near each other in these tandem drifts, and then usually not run into each other. So it's a different, I think if you're a real motorsports fan, a traditional motorsports fan, it's hard to grasp this guy won because he got judged a winner, he didn't necessarily cross the finish line first. I think that's the first thing that people need to kind of maybe hopefully get over a little bit when they watch the drifting. But I think look, I come from the drag racing, and it was all about making out horsepower, and the car was kind of this vehicle to just make the horsepower get down the track. Let's just make as much power as we can and somehow get it down to the track and then get to the finish line first. This is a different type of motorsport for sure. And I think the friends that I have that are traditional motorsports that have sort of, all right, let me take my finish line hat off and let me see enjoy a little bit more of the car and the driver, tend to enjoy the drifting more.
Yeah. Well, and I think I've been a fan of drift forever, but we're going back, 2 or 3 years ago, but had the opportunity with Ryan Turk to jump in a car with Turk, and I'm an off-road guy, right? I pitch trucks sideways all day long, and I've been through rally training and spent time in rally cars, but the precision that guys like Aasbo and Turk and, the guys running up front, they have, to be able to put that car within, literally centimeters of where they want it. To me, that was just mind-blowing because I can throw a car sideways, but there's no way that I can have that precision that they do. And to see what, Aasbo can do corner after corner and just put that car on its marks. I mean, to me, it's just mind-blowing, the talent that these guys have behind the wheel and the car control.
Yeah, and this is to back you up on that. So I have a history in drag racing, and we did front-wheel drive drag racing, 1,000 horsepower. We had a rear-wheel drive twin-turbo, 1,600 horsepower drag car, and I drove all those, and we had a bunch of wins and championships, and I thought I was a badass. And, I started doing some drifting stuff, and it was really hard. There's a special talent that I think that I appreciate with these drivers that I wasn't able to do. So, I made a choice in my career to back off from the driving end and concentrate on the building of the cars and let the driving happen with these special individuals.
Yeah. Well, here's a question for you. I mean, you've talked about backing away from, from the driving standpoint. I mean, you're legendary, right? You've got championships and, in import drag racing, you're the name that comes to mind, right? But, how fulfilling was it, like, when Fredric won his, he won, the U.S. championship, he won the world championship. I mean, he took all those titles. I mean, how special is it for you to see him take wins now? I mean, is it just as fulfilling for you knowing, hey, that's my car that did that?
Totally. From the drag racing, my history with drag racing, it was a bit of there was definitely some teamwork there, but it's like I was used to build the cars and build the engine and drive the car, and, it was that whole thing. Now it's more of a teamwork. Not one individual can do everything. Not two people can do everything. It's a whole team. So building the car and maintaining it and handling all logistics is a huge endeavor in itself. And then Fredric driving the car, and then when he's not at these events, also driving other cars, and also, just driving as much as possible and honing his craft, all leads to these wins and these championships. So I respect, all the teams of the drift, and even actually other motorsports even more, that like NASCAR and the high levels at NHRA drag racing, to where these are real. It really is a team effort. It might be one person winning the event, but it's this whole team that makes it happen.
Yeah. Well, here's a question before we let you go, but obviously, going back to that, I mean, you're a guy, I know you've toyed with off-road and with Lucas a bit and things like that. I mean, I know there's got to be some gas left in the tank there. Are we going to see you, you got anything, your eyes set on where you'd like to jump back behind the wheel competitively again?
All right, I will say that. So I raced a couple years in the Lucas series, and that was the most amazing time I've ever had in a vehicle. So we ran the short course trucks, and there's this feeling, and you probably had this same situation where, I come out of a turn and there's 25 trucks in front and all around me, and this guy in front of me starts tumbling over one of the straightaway jumps. And I'm looking at the bottom of the truck, and we're going, 70 miles an hour down this back straight. And it's like a Hollywood movie where this thing's tumbling. It's in front of me. And I realize, wait a minute, I'm in a race. I've got to not only get around this guy, I got to not get past. And it's just, it's like, it's a dream. No, but it's real. And I think that's the most amazing feeling, just being alive, is that moment in racing where you're competing and it's this Hollywood movie and I want to win and all this stuff is happening, and I would love to get back into that situation. So maybe if some of this drifting was to give me a little bit more time at some point, I think the off-road stuff is the most fun that I have driving.
Yeah, it's, and that's, I mean, you're preaching to the choir here, because here's a guy that's where, that's what I do on a daily basis. But it's funny you talk about that, because it's so, like, I've been in those moments, like you said, where it's like Twilight Zone, where you're like, man, am I living this Hollywood movie? It's like this action sequence or this car chase and stuff tumbling and fire. And it's like, whoa, this is real life here. What am I in, It's so funny. Oh, so,
yeah, amazing. So motorsports, it's the industry of passion, and it's always fun, chatting with friends that we can share those moments, Yeah,
for sure. Well, I appreciate you taking the time, my friend. Good luck with the new car out at Long Beach, in the debut, and here's hoping Fredric can bring home another championship.
Thanks, buddy.
All right.
Good times.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Stephan. And we'll be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty Radio Show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it. So when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our RZR vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of RZR vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a RZR 170 like me, take the entire family out in a RZR XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new RZR XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris RZR. Check out the full Polaris RZR lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Do you race or are you a weekend warrior? Have you checked on the date on your helmet recently? Don't get caught off guard by using an outdated helmet. Impact Racing, the leader in motorsport safety, has new SA 2015 helmets to fit your budget. Whether you're looking for a helmet with a full carbon fiber shell to take you to victory at the Indy 500 or just looking for some helmets for a weekend at Glamis, Impact Racing has a helmet for you. Find out more information at impactraceproducts.com or on Facebook at Impact Safety. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Honey, Blue Water Resort and Casino is doing it again. On Friday, March 31st, one person will win $20,000.
Thank my lucky stars. $25,000 in cash will be given away on Friday, March 31st. Drawings every half hour from 4 till 7 p.m.
Lucky Clover cash giveaway. See the club for details.
Blue Water Resort and Casino. Right on the water, right on the money.
Honey, Blue Water Resort and Casino is doing it again. If you don't win the $20,000 drawing on March 31st, $10,000 in cash will be given away on April Fool's Day with a second chance drawing. All March entries remain valid.
I'm no fool. It's our second chance to win our share of $10,000. Saturday, April 1st, one person will win $5,000.
No joke. April Fool's second chance $10,000 giveaway. See the club for details.
Blue Water Resort and Casino.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Jim Beaver here, and just finishing up hour number 1. And, man, it's been a solid hour. You got to love Stephan Papadakis. Dude is flat legendary in motorsports. I mean, one of the greatest import drag racers of all time. Like I said, they modeled Vin Diesel's character in Fast and Furious after Stephan. He's a badass. It's the easiest way to put it. But rock solid dude, and a guy kind of behind Aasbo's program. But we got to get to a Dirtfish Rally Report this week, brought to you by our good friends at Dirtfish Rally School. Find out more information on the web at www.dirtfish.com. I know I got a couple of friends up there, Craig Scanlon from Polaris, Johnny Angel from UTB Inc. They're up there shredding some rear-wheel drive rally cars right now. But speaking of rally, we got the FI World Rallycross Championship kicking off this weekend in Barcelona. Look at this driver lineup. Solberg, Loeb, Hansen, Backerud, Block, Eriksson, Timur Zonov, Hansen, Nittis, Shakrit, Grunholm, Loeb. Crazy, man. These guys are locked and loaded. Obviously kicking things off with Barcelona. I think only time they come to North America later on this year, Canada, August 4th. But that happening this weekend. Also, we're getting really close to that ARA United States kickoff there in Oregon. They ran that first event, a joint one with Canadian Rally Championship up there in Canada. But their first kickoff, Oregon Trail, coming up in April. Looking forward to that. One of my favorite rally events of the year, hands down. 3 days, mix of mountain climbing, tarmacs, high-speed, technical stuff, super specials at Portland Speedway, so that's going to be good. Red Bull GRC, we're about a month out from them. So I don't know, rally. We're starting to get priming the pump for some rally stuff. And then Ohio Forest Rally America, over 70 entries for that. So I don't know, man. Rally stuff is on point right now. But that was your Dirtfish Rally Report for this week, brought to you by our good friends at Dirtfish Rally School. Find out more information on the web at www.dirtfish.com, or use that coupon code JBDirtfish for 15% off. And we'll be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor.
I'm Polaris rider Levi LaValle, and I choose Polaris just because they have the best quality, highest performing, most fun machines out there.
Only one company has taken Levi LaValle to 10 X Games medals, snowcross championships, a double backflip, and a world record long jump of 412 feet across the San Diego Harbor on New Year's Eve, and that company is Polaris. Whether it's dominating the X Games, racing a stock Polaris Razor XP1000 in the Terracross Championship, or just hitting the trail on the weekend, for over 20 years, Levi has relied on the same quality Polaris vehicles and products you can purchase at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of action sports legend Levi LaValle and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver holding it down while my friend Amy Hood is playing in Las Vegas, but she will be back full-time, and it's been kind of a wonky couple of months. She's been traveling Monster Jam, but she's going to be back here starting next month, and, stoked to have her back full-time on the show. But speaking of shows, we've got to talk about my second show, Project Action, on Podcast One. Podcast One, worldwide leader in podcasting, and you can get me and some other amazing shows over there. But those of you who love this show, you're tuning in each and every week, man, our numbers are going through the roof. Thank you, guys. I've got a second show over on Podcast One. Easiest way to access it, go to podcastone.com. You can live stream it there. You can live stream it at downanddirtyshow.com. You might be listening to this there right now. Right there on the top bar says Project Action. Click that. Back episodes pop up. You can stream us there. You can download the Podcast One app, or you can go to iTunes and you can subscribe to us on iTunes. And when you do, please rate and review us. I think we're close to 160 reviews now. But when you do that, when you leave your review, I'm not going to tell you to leave me 1 through 5 stars, whatever you want to leave, I don't care. But if you leave your review and you leave your Twitter or Instagram at username, I will follow you back. People go, hey, give me a follow on Instagram. I want you to follow me. Well, I'm telling you right now, you want to follow? It's the easiest way to do it. Go and review. You can see a bunch of people that have left their Twitter and Instagram at usernames. And you know what? I'm following them back. Just saying. So if you want to follow from me, easiest way to get it right there. I see it pop up. Might take a day or two, but you're going to get a follow from me. So thanks to all you guys who have been doing that. We're killing it over there. We got Colette Davis coming up this week. She's a good friend of mine. She's been on this show before. We're going in depth, over an hour long, with Colette, talking about her. She went to engineering school at 16. She's a professional race car driver. She's been on numerous television shows, magazine covers. She's hosting a new show called Girl Starter on TLC, and it's basically the young girls version of Shark Tank. So we're going to go into depth with her, talk a lot of racing, rally cars, drifting, action sports, marketing. It's a really, really good in-depth look at her life and her career. You guys are going to enjoy that. Drops this Thursday on Podcast One. And skip back, man. Amazing interview with Jerry Zayden 2 weeks ago. Jolene Van Vute before that. Nate Wessel, Kurt Yeager. I'm just going down the list of these epic interviews we've dropped. Travis Pastrana, Ken Block. You guys definitely need to go check it out. We're killing it. And, don't forget, rate, review, subscribe on iTunes. All right, we're going to take a short break. We come back. Joe Duncan with Terracross. He's got some big news dropping. All that and more on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it, so when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Honey, Blue Water Resort and Casino is doing it again. If you don't win the 20,000 drawing on March 31st, $10,000 in cash will be given away on April Fool's Day with a second chance drawing. All March entries remain valid.
I'm no fool. It's our second chance to win our share of $10,000. Saturday, April 1st, one person will win $5,000.
No joke. April Fool's second chance $10,000 giveaway. See the club for details.
Blue Water Resort and Casino.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'd like to welcome my next guest to the line, just like he has been in this spot for, 2 years now. Joe Duncan. How's everything going, Joe?
Oh, things are good, Jimmy. Just rolling through another airport on our way to Indianapolis.
Oh, on your way to Indianapolis. I think I'm going to be at Indianapolis, I know, at least twice, maybe 3 times this year. There's a lot of stuff happening in Indy lately.
Yeah, we got some traveling in the works over the next few weeks here, putting together our series locations to get everything dialed in and meeting with some great partners. So, yeah, things are hopping and moving and shaking.
Yeah, well, little birdie tells me too. Starting next week, we may have a segment title for this segment. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. Lots of good things happening.
Yeah, it's looking really good. We got some great things in the works. I think the press release went out this morning. We have our ninth pro women release with Addison Nibble. They're out of Missouri, and she's super pumped. I was just with her and her family on the way back from Texas, and we got another great pro women for our lineup there, and that class just keeps getting better and better. Next week, she's going to be on your show with us. We got that all set up, and the release is out on social media, and it's pretty exciting news.
Yeah, definitely exciting. That class is filling up quick. I know it's funny because I just did an interview for this next week's Project Action with Colette Davis, and her and I talked for like an hour and 15 minutes for this podcast. But she was saying she wanted to do it last year. She didn't get a chance, and I think she wants to circle back with you. I don't know if there's still a spot remaining, but I think she's really interested in possibly doing some Terracross this year. So I don't know.
Yeah, there's a spot left, and there's some pretty big names trying to get support to get into that last spot for Terracross. It's exciting. We'll see who comes through with the partners to sponsor them to get in one of these XG 1000s and race in our great women's class. And as you know, Sarah Price and James Hill were just here in Minnesota and did a little tour out at Terracross and K2 Motorsports, and yeah, they had a great time with them, and she's pumped for the season, so things are good.
Yeah, Sarah, see, she's got a little chip on her shoulder this year. Like, Queen got dethroned, and so she's got some redemption she's got to get done. Her, the best frenemies, her and Shelby Anderson. It's going to be a shootout, Joe. And you mix in all the other ladies, and that's one of the classes to watch this year for sure.
Well, you saw Sierra Romo last year, and then the rest of the women. There's no slackers in this class. It is everybody wants to win, and almost anybody in that class. Actually, I think almost anybody in that class can win at any given time. So it's going to be even more exciting than what it's been in the past, if that's possible. There's the Razors jumping over one another, rolling off of each other. It's just insane what this class brings to our CBS Sports television show.
Yeah, it's some of the most exciting moments definitely coming out of there. I know there's one when we were calling the TV episode last year. I think it was the one in North Carolina, but Shelby checked up for a jump. Jolene didn't, and Jolene literally landed her Razor on the roof of Shelby's. And there's definitely some excitement in that class. Oh man!
Yeah, now we'll have a completely filled class. I can't imagine how exciting it's going to be. So really cool to see this keep growing. I mean, obviously you single-handedly pretty much filled that class for us, and now we're almost full, and we'll have that thing full for the season. Our turbo class is almost full, and it's looking really, really good.
Yeah. So, I know starting, I've been, obviously copied on some stuff like that, but I think starting, press release went out this week, and then we've got another one rolling out, I think, next week. But it seems like the next month or so, you got a lot of big announcements. Seems like one a week rolling out for Terracross.
Yeah, between our amazing athletes and racers getting signed up and on board and getting their partners in place, our partners, coming together. We have our Heydays event that's locked up. We're working on our two other events. We're just trying to figure out what events are going to be the best for our athletes. We have some pretty cool stuff in the works for 2018 that we're trying to tie into 2017. And if we can't, it's not a big deal. But if we can, big exposure opportunities and some great television ahead for the future here of Terracross.
Yeah, speaking of TV, Terracross, I don't know if we've touched base on this, but it's back CBS Sports Network again, 2017.
CBS Sports Network, multiple hours of television. At the end of last year, we had over 48 hours of aired Terracross shows on CBS Sports Network. What a great setup and a great exposure for all of our partners and our racers. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's a massive amount of exposure. I know, like I've said in the past, like I get more feedback from television racing Razors in Terracross than I do from racing trophy trucks, and I don't even know what networks we air when they air our trophy truck races. But I don't ever get anybody say, "Hey, I saw you racing your trophy truck on TV." But I hear a ton of people saying, "Hey, I saw you racing your Razor on TV," and I'm like, so that's a feather in your cap, Joe, that you guys are putting out TV like that, and people are actually watching it. That's the thing, it's not just being on TV; it's actually getting people to tune in and watch it.
Yeah, I think it's just a great team and a great effort with our production company and Echo and all of our great racers and partners. It's just amazing teamwork effort, all the exposure you and our partners give to us. So, yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. Well, I know I told, Kevin over there, the guy that I do all the, the hosting of the shows with, and he's the host and I'm the co-host. I told him, I said, I'm dragging you to Heydays this year, buddy. I said, you've got to be there and you got to experience. We're going to toss him in a car with somebody like Sarah and just let her, scare the crap out of him, Or Creech. Or Creech. Creech would be one. Yeah. But
it'll be pretty awesome. Glad he's actually going to make it out to the events this year. You guys are what a great team on the television shows, and obviously CBS Sports loves it. We keep getting more and more airtime and more exposure, so it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, definitely good people over there. So you are you're in Chicago on your way to Indy, or you're in Indy, right? So
on my way to Indy from Chicago right now. Yeah, we got some great meetings set up for out there, and hopefully have some more news in the next 2 weeks here.
Yeah, you going to the Indy 500 this year? I know you went last year.
That's the plan right now. We have actually a couple of the people I met with there last year that we're looking at meeting with again this year, and actually one of them is working on a race package with us for this season.
Okay, I think I'm going to be at the Indy 500, but not race weekend. I think I'm going to be there on pole day and pole weekend, the weekend before, doing some radio and interviews with my friends at Impact and doing a bunch of stuff. So, but I won't be there race weekend. I think it'll be the weekend before, pole day and all that. So.
Well, maybe I'll come down early.
Yeah. So, I'm sure you and I could have some fun in Indianapolis. So.
All right, Jimmy. I'm about to grab the rental car, and I will talk to you next week. Big announcements next week.
Yep, absolutely. Thanks a lot, Joe.
All right. See you, Jimmy.
See ya. All right, that was Joe Duncan with Terracross giving us our Terracross update. And like I said, we got a big partner announcement for that show, or for this segment next week. Also getting involved in the Razor Star Car a bit, so pretty excited to chat about that. But we'll make that announcement later this week. But lots of good stuff coming. Terracross, amazing supporters and partners of this, and man, just a fun racing series with some banger TV. Definitely check it out. But thanks to Joe Duncan for calling in. We're going to take a short break. We come back. Oh, man, we got some Recoil, some Getting Blocked to talk about, some Supercross, some Score. I don't know. It's going to be a massive segment coming up right now after the break on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning Razor XP1000. R.J. is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris Razors to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris Razors RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris Razor vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. As certain as the sun rises and sets around the world, OTSFF Group is dedicated to providing flexible, comprehensive, and reliable transportation solutions. Air transportation, ocean freight, ground transportation, or a combination of services. We offer innovative and custom-built packages specifically designed to meet your transportation needs. OTSFF Group has been keeping shipments moving globally for nearly 2 decades. OTSFF Group, flexible logistics services designed for you. More information at OTSFF.com.
Honey, Blue Water Resort and Casino is doing it again. If you don't win the 20,000 drawing on March 31st, $10,000 in cash will be given away on April Fool's Day with a second chance drawing. All March entries remain valid.
I'm no fool. It's our second chance to win our share of $10,000. Saturday, April 1st, one person will win $5,000.
No joke. April Fool's second chance $10,000 giveaway. See the club for details.
Blue Water Resort and Casino.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. A 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. It's not a sibling rivalry. It's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Hey everyone, this is Sean Wheelock inviting you to check out our new MMA podcast, Sean Funky and the Baddest Man, right here on Podcast One. Every week I'll be with welterweight titleist Ben Funky Askren and the baddest man on the planet, Joe Warren, to take you inside the sport of MMA. So join us every Wednesday for all new episodes of Sean Funky and the Baddest Man. Download and listen at PodcastOne.com, the Podcast One app, and subscribe on iTunes.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver here, hour number 2 of a Slam Pack show. We still got Formula Drift World Champ. Not last year, it was a couple years ago, but you know what? When you're World Champ, you get to claim that for the rest of your life. But Fredric Aasbo, we got him on the line. Formula Drift kicking off in Long Beach this weekend. If you're in SoCal, it is the place to be. And then we got IndyCar the following weekend at Long Beach and Stadium Super Trucks and a whole bunch of other stuff. But anyways, this weekend, FD kickoff, and Aasbo dropping his new car, new livery. We talked about it with Papadakis, but we're definitely going to dive into things with Aasbo later on in the show. But not only we had that, but a lot of big stuff coming out of motorsports. Like, where do we start here? So, all right, let's start with yesterday or today. I don't know. It all blurs together. Ken Block dropping his new livery. Now, most people drop liveries, right? I dropped a Star Car livery. It's like, oh, cool. Ken Block, everything's an event, right? His schedule drops. Like, ooh, big event, Ken Block. Not so much anymore because we know he's running WRX, but or World Rallycross. But, it's like his livery. Like, Ken is an art guy. I know Ken. He's a good friend of mine, and he's very, very much into the arts, and he's a designer in his mind, you know what I mean? And so he always comes with something different every year. His cars look different than everybody's. And some years he kills it, like this year. Some years it's kind of, I don't know, But the good news is the following year he's going to do something different, right? This year, I'm speechless, right? How do you talk about it, right? So it's 3D. Like, literally 3D. You guys are like, what? So he teamed up with Death Spray Customs, right? I wasn't super familiar with Death Spray. I've done a lot of research since this dropped. But he's an artist. Just literally, he's, I don't want to say legend, but dude has definitely been around, right? So Ken contracts with him, does this amazing livery. It's black, white, blue, red, but the reason why it's that is because it's 3D. Literally, you put on a set of 3D glasses, and the whole livery pops. So I haven't had a chance to actually do the whole full 3D thing because I don't have a set of 3D glasses handy, but it's a 3D livery. I don't know if anybody in motorsports has ever done anything like this before. So Ken definitely breaking ground, and that to me is it's pretty rad. It's like, why didn't somebody think of that before? Wrap something in 3D. Like, seriously, that's cool stuff. You gotta love Ken Block, always thinking out of the box. So that dropped, right? The big one dropping today, and thanks to Mr. BJ Baldwin, I was going to drop my new Star Car video, right? Recapping the Mint 400, Tanner Faust, Jolene Van Vliet, and I. We were going to drop that, and I decided, you know what? I'm not going to drop it against Recoil. Our first video had 100,000 views in like a day or a day and a half. Really, really good, but Recoil's dropping today. I didn't want it to go on deaf ears. Starcar dropping next Tuesday in coordination with this radio show. So be on the lookout for Starcar. Full episode from the Mint, telling the story. That's dropping next week. But the reason why, BJ Baldwin, Recoil 4. For some reason, I got them mixed up. I thought it was 3. This is 4. I'm getting them all confused, man. You start getting so many of them, and it's like, then people are like, oh, it's her favorites. Well, got to say, I'm digging it. BJ is BJ, right? He lives his life with what is it? The rule, no F's given, right? So so he opens it up and BJ's smoking a cigar in Cuba, playing dominoes with a bunch of thugs, I guess they're calling them. But anyways, definitely a different take. He's shredding his trophy truck around Cuba. The production quality is always second to none with these videos. It always tells a little bit of a story. He's got to get to a party, and so, and he's, miles away in Cuba, so he's got to cut through the jungle to get there, and I don't know, it's cool. There's some really cool spots, him doing, 360s in the truck, and, and I don't know, just a lot of cool stuff. The biggest one to me, there's a massive huck on the beach that was just like, wow. There was some of them. I always look at these videos like, could I do that? Would I do that? Right? Most of the stuff, it's like, it's really cool. But you know what I mean? It wasn't anything groundbreaking. Big jump onto the beach. Dude, it was legend status stuff. Like, it was a huck. BJ, he's not scared of jumping, and I said that with the one he did up there in Washington when he jumped into the arena up there. You know what I mean? Like, I texted him and said, dude, I draw the line at this. Like, I would never do that. Like, it was a massive jump. He laughed because he thought he was going to die. So I think... I don't know. Very well put together. Cool video. Got some spots. It's like 8 minutes long. It's worth the watch. Tells a story. Is it going to be the biggest viral video of all time? It's definitely going to go viral. It's going to get, a few million views for sure. I was stoked on it. Nice job, BJ and boys at Hoonigan and everybody else that pitched in to make it happen. Like, I was stoked on it. So, I think it's definitely worth your watch, that dropping today. So, definitely get in on it. And then we also had, obviously, talked about Starcar. That video is going to drop. But Score announcing a new class, right? We don't talk about Score much. It's kind of died. I don't want to say died. Around Baja races, San Felipe coming up. We'll definitely chat on that. That's this weekend. But announcing a new class called Score Trophy Truck Legends, right? Trophy Truck Legends. So basically, if you're 50 years old or older and you own a trophy truck, or I guess it could be any vehicle at that point. But anyways, they've got a class called Trophy Truck Legends. So you can basically enter this class, and so instead of racing against guys like McCachran and BJ and the like, you can go and run Legends class against guys that are 50 years old or older. So rules are anybody that gets behind the wheel has to be 50 years old or older as of race time, right? The co-driver can be any age. So my thought is you're going to get a bunch of 70-year-old guys racing, and they're going to have 20-year-old co-drivers because these guys don't want to get out of the car and change tires. So they get a legit co-driver that's young and make him do all the work. So that's just the way it works. But I don't know. Cool concept. I don't know how many people are going to jump on it. I think 50 years is a little too young. I would have made it 60. Reason being, you guys got guys like Rob McCachran who's killing it. He's over 50. So he could go and run this class, and he's not, but it's like he could, and he's going to win every race, right? Guys like Steve Ologis, he's over 50. I don't know, the list goes on. I mean, some of the Herbst brothers are over 50. Robbie Gordon isn't over 50, but I think he's like 48. I know Cameron Steele's upper 40s. So, I mean, there's some guys that are, here real quick. Serapis is over 50. Some guys that can flat wheel trophy trucks. I think Geysers are. I'm just trying to think, but yeah, there's some guys over 50 that qualify for this class that I don't think need to be in a, quote, legends class. I think they ought to be racing against the other guys, Jesse Jones, because they can win right now, So I don't know the full purpose of this. I don't know who's going to run it. As of now, I don't know anybody that's signed up. My buddy Robbie Pierce, he falls into that category, owner of Impact, one of our great partners here on the show. So I don't know. I know it was talked about in Best of the Desert some years back, like it was, like an over 50 trick truck class or like a veterans class or something like that. And Casey Folks had basically said, I know one guy that really wanted to do it, and he says, bring me 5 guys. He says, you bring me 5 guys for this class, I'll create the class. He's like, I'm not going to do it for any less, right? Which makes sense. You don't want one guy running around against himself. And he couldn't get 5 guys. So I don't know if Score, he may get 1 or 2. I don't know if they're going to get, enough to really make a difference. It'd be cool to see a race going on, you know what I mean, with the 6 or 8 trucks really duking it out, but I don't know that that's going to happen. I think you're going to have 1 or 2 guys cherry pick and then go, I won 1 trophy truck. I don't know, man, but it's not going to be guys like McCacken running it. So was there a purpose for the class? I don't know. I'm sure there is. It's going to be, so wait and see. We're going to have to see what happens here, right? So, but Score, Trophy Truck Legends, that's going down at San Felipe this weekend. So, be on the lookout for that. And then also, man, we haven't talked Supercross. Amy and I were going to talk Supercross, and then we got carried away talking Monster Jam. So I got to circle back. I promise next week we'll go in depth. I'll probably do some Supercross talk on Project Action because we're not getting to it here. Detroit, Eli freaking Tomac, 4 straight. Dominate. I mean, it was just a domination. Eli's just been dominating. Dungey in 3rd, Marvin Muskeen in 2nd. And so basically what happens is the point standings are thrown up in the air. It's the easiest way to put it. Dungey, 254, Tomac, 247. Tomac, there was that massive gap. He's there. Dungey, and whatever's happened with Ryan, I love Ryan. He needs to snap out of the funk. He's got to bring his A game, or Tomac is going to eat his lunch. That's all there is to it, man. Tomac, he is breathing fire right now, and Dungey feels it. So I think right now, Dungey, it's like he's been slapped around. He's going, man, I got to snap out of this. He's going to bring his A game. We got a shootout going in 450s, and we got that championship up for grabs. The 3rd spot though, you got Marvin Muskeen 207. You got Seeley with 196. He's right there. All 3 spots. It ain't decided. We got a shootout going in 450s. You gotta love it. And then 250 East, same thing. Savachi, Smith, Osborne, all within 10 points of each other. Cianciarulo, he's only 11 points back out of 1st. So, I mean, we got shootouts going in 250 East. Jordan Smith did get the win this weekend. Savachi and Cianciarulo was your 1, 2, 3 in Detroit. So, I don't know, man. I'm excited. Supercross is banging. If you're not tuning in, I don't know what you're watching on Saturday nights, but you need to be watching Supercross. That's for sure. We're going to take a short break. We come back. We got Fredric Aasbo on the line on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it, so when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor.
Life is all about sound. The sound of sports. The sound at the racetrack. And the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Do you race or are you a weekend warrior? Have you checked on the date on your helmet recently? Don't get caught off guard by using an outdated helmet. Impact Racing, the leader in motorsport safety, has new SA 2015 helmets to fit your budget. Whether you're looking for a helmet with a full carbon fiber shell to take you to victory at the Indy 500 or just looking for some helmets for a weekend at Glamis, Impact Racing has a helmet for you. Find out more information at impactraceproducts.com or on Facebook at Impact Safety. Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. A 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. It's not a sibling rivalry. It's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'd like to welcome my next guest to the line, my buddy Fredric Aasbo. How's everything going, man?
Hey, Jim. It's going well. It's really crazy right now. Feels like the racing season is about to begin.
Yeah, it's racing season's about ready to begin, but big news is you're bringing a new gun to the fight this year. You got to tell me about this car, man. Video dropped. The thing looks phenomenal. I think it's cool. It's kind of changes it up. The look's got a little bit different. It's got a different look than everything else in Formula D.
Yes, sir. We just launched a new Rockstar energy drink, next entire Toyota Corolla IM, which is the first hatchback in pro drifting. So definitely a game changer, we hope. And, it's an unfamiliar sight for most drifting people, but I think it's definitely a great addition to the sport and making it broader, and it should be a pretty competitive car as well.
Yeah, well, I gotta say, this had to be almost like a homecoming for Papadakis developing this car. I mean, he comes from the import drag racing scene where every other car was a hatchback, right? So now all of a sudden he's developing this drift car that's a hatchback. It's hey, this is everything that's old is new again.
Exactly, and if you look at Stephan and what those guys have done over the years, they've always kind of went against the stream a little bit. They've built these different, slightly obscure cars, and it has worked well for them, that they've won a lot of championships in these different cars, and now in drifting doing the same thing. Our Scion TC that we campaigned for 6 years turned into a pretty good contender, and after winning the championship in 2015, we felt like this recipe works. Why not take it further and build a Corolla? And with Scion being phased back in under the Toyota brand, this was a new opportunity and a way to kind of diversify Toyota's involvement in the sport as well. So I think it's a pretty cool setup. It looks different, looks funky, and I've barely gotten to test the car, but from what I've felt so far, it feels really good. So really excited to go into Long Beach this weekend.
Yeah, well, and that was going to be my next question, as far as seat time in the car. I mean, obviously, it seems like, guys in the past, if there's one guy that can expedite the process of developing a car, it's Steph, and then obviously, with you behind the wheel. But you know what I mean? Does that make you a little bit nervous coming into the new season, having a new car, or are you pretty happy with things, from what you've seen so far?
You would think I would be pretty nervous, but I don't really feel that nervous. I was more nervous last year with their last year of in the TC. I think what helps a lot is this car is fairly identical to the TC underneath the body. Same power plant, same drivetrain, same subframes, which is a big deal in drifting because it makes the car feel feel right, and feel familiar. So, even though on the outside there are a lot of changes, underneath the skin, there's a lot of familiarity for me. So, I think it'll be a good setup. I don't think the big changes will necessarily be on our team setup, because we will go about it the way we always do, try and be consistent and fast and reliable. But I think we're going to see a lot more competition this year. There's a lot more. There's, some heavy hitters from around the world coming into the series. There are advancements in car builds and tires and whatnot. So it's definitely going to be a thriller in Long Beach coming up.
Yeah, well, and I know I talked about this in last week's show where you're getting a lot of fan questions sent in and things like that. And it's this year, it seems like Formula Drift, it's crazy. You've got this new car. You got guys teaming up. I know like Turk and Forsberg are running out under the same tent this year. You got Vaughn bringing in a second car into his program. You guys are ramping things up. I'm looking at like Formula D as a whole going, man, everybody is bringing the heat this year.
Yeah, and it's awesome to see that. I'm a drift fan just like any one of those guys, and it's cool to see what you love so much develop and grow into something bigger. And alongside the guys you already mentioned, you have guys like James Dean coming in from Ireland, who's had 5 championships out east. You have Wiatek from Poland. You have Daigo supposedly coming back a little bit later in the season. So it'll be a clash of titans, and I think we haven't seen drifting's end game yet. The sport is still developing. Cars are getting crazy, man. Yeah, there are very few road race, motorsports out there with more power on the grid. So it's pretty nuts, actually.
Yeah, it's nuts, and I know, like you said, we haven't seen the end of it. I think from a technology standpoint, we haven't seen the end game yet, but from Formula D, just the numbers. I see the numbers grow. Just your video alone that you dropped, I think I just looked like it was over 100,000 views already in less than like 12 hours or something, and so the fans there, I know. Like Formula D, I'm looking at the sponsors coming in, both at the series. And you've got tire companies coming back to the series, and new sponsors coming in. It seems like it's the place to be, man.
Yeah, totally. And there's a little bit there's something for everybody in the sport. You have your classic American OE car manufacturers. You have the Toyota branch that we're part of, and Toyota Racing now has a super diverse team in FD. They have Ken Gushi, Japanese American kid. You have Ryan Turk, red-blooded American. Then you have Jonathan Castro from Dominican Republic. You have myself hailing from Europe. And, you mentioned our video that we just launched, the Rockstar D, which is a very niche video. It's a take on the classic Initial D anime intro, which is a cartoon from Japan that kind of started drifting. And, the video is short and funky and doesn't really reveal much, but it's actually a remake down to every split second of that Initial D intro. So there's a lot of room to play with all these ideas, and drifting is truly an art form. You can show off your style. You can build literally any car and turn it into crazy contraption and competitive race cars. There's a lot of freedom in drift, and I think we all love that.
Yeah, well, and I know that's what I love about it. The cars, you can be creative with the builds, your driving style. It's, there's so many different styles, to bring. And I love the free form feel of Formula D. It's between the cars and the styles. It's really kind of its own art form, and you don't get that in motorsport a lot. A lot of it is so, true to the rule book and this, and there's only one way to, do things. And it's like, I love about, just the open nature of drift.
Yeah, totally. It's like skateboarding in the 70s. People are trying all different things.
Yeah.
And now, we're at the verge of going really commercial and the sport getting really big. And yet you have the Pro-Am leagues and the amateurs behind them. And, there's a lot of, there's a little bit little bit of everything, and really good community to be a part of, for sure.
Yeah. How was it? I got to ask. I mean, I know Toyota, they've got a big involvement in NASCAR. Obviously, you were out there at Fontana this past weekend. How was the reception for, I know Turk was out there as well. I mean, how was the reception for some drifters out there at NASCAR?
It was good. It was really good. So we announced 3 of the Toyota racing cars at the Toyota Racing Fan Village on the morning. Bunch of NASCAR fans out there. We unveiled the cars. We got to meet Eric Jones, and one of the NASCAR drivers. It was really cool. We had a great, we felt really welcomed, and great hospitality by Toyota as always. And I think that is probably the biggest thing for us right now is to coming from being part of Toyota's little brother Scion to now being a full-blown part of the Toyota racing empire, really. So it opens a lot of doors. A lot of, opportunities for cross-promotion. We got shown around the pits. The Furniture Row team showed us around the trailers, telling us about some of the inner secrets of the team, stuff like that for a race fan, and especially a kid hailing from, Norway. It's a really big deal. So I had a great day out there and watched the race, and I can't wait to see what else is going to, unfold this year in between NHRA and Toyota, NASCAR, and off-road cross-promotion. So there's a lot of ideas up in the air right now that we're playing with, and hopefully we can do some, make some cool stuff happen over the course of the year.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was going to say. I mean, this Toyota thing, looking at it, and you just mentioned quite a few involvements at Toyota. It's got to be really exciting. I mean, joining a roster of athletes, like Toyota has, and its involvement in so many different series. I mean, the sky's the limit, and what directions you guys can go with cross promotion and things like that. It's got to be a pretty cool feeling to be in your shoes,
Absolutely. So it's amazing. And, right now we're really focused on getting the drift car ready, or, as ready as can be for Long Beach. In racing, you never feel 100% ready anyway, but we are definitely in competition mode right now. The goal is to do as well as we can right out of the box. And then, as the season starts unfolding, we'll revisit some of these ideas and then, see if we can stir some stuff up.
Yeah. So, speaking of that, Long Beach this weekend, that's the big one, right? I mean, we're kicking the thing off. Long Beach is a bit different field than a lot of the other Formula Drift, places. No room for run out. I mean, you make a mistake, you're in the wall. I mean, how do you approach this event?
Yeah, you said it, man. It's I consider the Long Beach course kind of like a game of pinball. You're literally bouncing off the walls back and forth. And to debut your car at a track so unforgiving, it's a little bit hairy. Not going to lie. And, for me, it's about building up to the limit instead of going out there 110%. So, you can't really afford big mistakes there because you'll end up in the wall, and those walls don't move.
Yeah.
We'll go about it with the utmost respect, yet we're shooting for really aggressive runs. And in order to do well, you have to be super aggressive. So I think fans in Long Beach are going to get treated to one of the highlights of the year for sure.
Yeah, and it's definitely one. I mean, it's one of those, like you said, you want to ease your way into it, but at some point, you know what I mean. It's Long Beach is about commitment, and you'd love to leave the opening round with a win, man, and that points lead. It's a nice way to slingshot yourself, up the top for the rest of the season.
Exactly, and we've had our share of luck in Long Beach over the last couple of years. We won there in 2015 and had a second place last year. Definitely shooting for that podium, even with the new car. But at the same time, it's such a long way to even get there. And I have a lot of respect for our competition this year. And so it'll be a nail biting weekend for sure. We're on track Tuesday of this week to test, and when Friday comes around, it's showtime. So it feels good to be back here. It feels good to be in with arguably the best team in the sport. And let's see what we can do this year.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I appreciate the time, Fredric, man. I know it's the kickoff weekend. I guess it's race week, so to speak. So, good luck this weekend, my friend. And, hopefully we can have you back on next week with like a victory interview, right?
Thanks a bunch. I appreciate that. We'll do our best, and talk to you soon, Jim.
All right. Thanks, Fredric. Awesome catching up with Fredric Aasbo. I don't know. It seems like over the past 3 years, man, we've had him on air a bunch, and never disappoints with his interviews. Good luck to him. Good luck to Turk, Forsberg, Vaughn. Man, all my friends competing this weekend in Formula Drift out there at Long Beach. Definitely worth the trip if you guys are in the SoCal area, that's for sure. We're going to take a short break here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor, and we're going to wrap things up when we come back from the break.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning Razor XP1000. R.J. is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris Razors to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris Razors RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris Razor vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. A 268-horsepower, turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. It's not a sibling rivalry. It's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver here, wrapping things up on your favorite action motorsports radio show. And, man, talk about a fun one. Stephan Papadakis, Fredric Aasbo. Formula Drift kicking off this weekend. Great to have those two guys on. We are back with our Formula Drift post-event interview. You can expect that next Monday. We've got a big Terracross segment coming up next Monday with a lot of interviews and driver stuff, so some UTV stuff. Hopefully we got a San Felipe 250 winner on air, that event this weekend. Formula D, obviously. We got the World Rallycross kicking off, UTV World Championship on the horizon, and even more Supercross. Got to thank Polaris Razor, General Tire, Subaru, Casey Alex, Gibson, Dirtfish, Impact, Terracross, Blue Resort and Casino, and our new partners, OTSFF. Find out more information on them at OTSFF.com. And, you want looking for a coupon for Dirtfish, use the coupon code JBDirtfish. And also throw in Blue Apron. I got a code at blueapron.com. 3 free meals, blueapron.com/beaver. And, follow me at JimBeaver15 on Instagram and Twitter. And it is Facebook.com/Down and Dirty Show, or just search Jim Beaver over there. Amy Hood is at AmyHood71. And don't forget to rate, review, subscribe on iTunes to not only this show, but Project Action. And if you leave your Twitter or Instagram at username on both shows, or either or, and leave a review. And when you leave that review, leave that Twitter or Instagram at username. I'll follow you back on Twitter and Instagram, my promise to you. Shoot, I don't know, I'll follow your YouTube channel if you got one of those, whatever. Just leave whatever social handle you want me to follow, and leave that review, and I'll follow it. Promise you. So Facebook can't follow unless you got a Facebook page. I can't really follow you, though. So if you got a friend's account, sorry, just can't do it. That's one of the Facebook things. Can't do it. But anyways, thanks to all you guys for tuning in, keeping it locked and loaded. Don't forget Project Action this week. Colette Davis dropping Thursday. Epic interview, and we'll probably talk some Supercross. I know I got some MMA news to cover and some more from Action Sports, but good stuff happening on Project Action on Podcast One. That dropping this Thursday. You can catch up on back episodes right now, iTunes, Podcast One, downanddirtyshow.com, or through the Podcast One app. So, yeah, I'm, sorry I keep hitting you guys with it, but seriously, good stuff over there, man. If you like this show, you're going to love that show, and vice versa. So just more content, and that one, no holds barred. May throw some F-bombs in there. So just saying, put it out there. But thanks again to all you guys for tuning in each and every week. And we are going to sign off here. We'll see you next week with more Down and Dirty Radio Show powered by Polaris Razor. Be safe. And as always, game on.